What I'm saying is, this is what this team has showed us all year. And every time you're about to bury them, and every time you're about to wave the red flag and white flag and say, that's it. This is where it ends. This team stinks. This team is dead. They're terrible. Then they rack off 5 in a row, and you're like, oh, shit, my bad. It just went downhill, but again, guys, like I said, give credit to Minnesota, man. They did their job. They're up 2-0. But I've been watching too much basketball in my life, and I've been watching this particular team too close this season to just bury them. I
will say this. One of the things that you had mentioned that I was kind of still holding out hope for was the fact that you were very confident that they were set up for the playoffs better than the regular season because they would be able to make adjustments. Mm-hmm. And they made a few adjustments today, but they weren't nearly as good enough as you hoped they would be. And now with Grayson Allen out,
yeah, that's big.
That's a huge blow to this team. I don't know who's going to be that one that steps up. EG stepped up today.
Yeah.
But can you rely on that for the majority of this series? I don't know.
You know who needs to be that guy? All 3 of the big 3.
Yes, that's fair.
That'd be nice.
All 3 of the big 3.
That's 100% fair. All 3.
I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it falls at their feet.
Yeah.
And honestly, Devin might be number 1 whose feet it falls at, to be completely honest with you. Probably not even might be. It just is. Like, you talk about EG, Eric Gordon and Drew Eubanks, probably the best collective game you're going to get from the 2 of them in this series at the same time. And you just let it go to waste.
Yeah.
I'll be mean. They were 18 of 45. You don't get to be superstars and go 18 of 45 in a playoff game when you're fighting for, in some people's minds, your playoff life. You come out flat again. You don't get it done. And yeah, it is at the feet of Devin Booker because everybody wanted it to be his team. We've talked about it. He's been that guy. And he wasn't the first 2 games. And now he gets an opportunity to come home, and maybe that changes. But this isn't a big 3. This isn't 3 superstars. It's just not. This is not the way that a big 3, a group of true stars, would come out and play on the biggest stage in basketball. It's just not. This team is poorly constructed, and they didn't play well in these first 2 games. And give credit to Minnesota's defense. They've done a hell of a job, but at some point, we've seen what this team is. They keep showing us what they are, and we've got to accept it. They're highly flawed, and there's not one guy that's going to take over at any given moment and save them.
That's where I'm not going to go, Espo. I'm just not going to go there.
It's fine. You don't have to.
They're down 2-0, guys. They're down 2-0. The big 3 has been a fucking atrocious these 2 games. 1,000,000%. Put that down, write it in the fucking cement, whatever you want to do. But I can't get around it's not over. This series is not over. It's far from over. And at your own peril, do it. You want to look into the camera and say it's over, do it. But if they flip the script, shame on you if you really think it's over.
Let me look. I'll look in the camera.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
The thing that is, I think, bothers me the most about this, as opposed to maybe some other series where you saw, a team go down 2-0, but there was a glimmer of hope because of the star that was playing on that other team. Is I can't believe that a team led by Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, 3 individuals that should be able to impose their will on the opposition, are getting, they're getting outdone by a player that is not a superstar, and Jaden McDaniels, who is literally imposing his will on the Phoenix Suns time after time after time again. And they can't do anything about it. That's the thing that concerns me the most, is like, we heard after game 1, like, oh, Kevin Durant's going to remember that about Ant, right? He did that shit again to him.
Yeah.
And and then what?
Yeah.
And Devin Booker goes MIA. Like, he hit that 3 to put him up by 3 at the beginning of the third quarter. They called a timeout, and it looked like, oh, maybe that's what's going to get Devin. He didn't do anything the rest of the game.
Right.
Like, he just disappeared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bradley Beal is wildly inconsistent as well. This team is just so damn perplexing.
I agree with both of y'all. I'm not saying what y'all are saying is not correct. What I'm saying is this is what this team has showed us all year. And every time you're about to bury them, and every time you're about to wave the red flag and white flag and say, that's it. This is where it ends. This team stinks. This team is dead. They're terrible. Then they rack off 5 in a row, and you're like, oh, shit, my bad. So that's why I'm not going there yet. I'm not going to go there yet.
I'm not going there. What I'm saying is simply this team isn't what we were thinking. This isn't a team necessarily built for the playoffs, like you said.
Boy.
They're a team that is still lost at this point. And I still think this likely goes the distance. But again, I don't feel confident in them going into Minnesota in a Game 7 and finding a way to win based on what we've seen.
That's fair, but this is where we disagree a little bit. I'm not even thinking Game 7 right now. No one should be thinking Game 7 right now. You got to worry about Game 3 on Friday.